Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Jackal Den podcast. I am your president and host, Errol Keith Hendon, aka the Fairweather Rugby Fan. Usually I am joined by the man himself, Rick, no relation to Phil Collins, but man, Rick is like a massive LeBron James, Anthony Davis, LA Lakers fan. They were playing here in Dallas today. He told me, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I got to go watch the King play. That's a complete lie. Rick is definitely a Mavericks fan for life. He is a Mavs fan. I just had to give him a little jab for that, going to go watch LeBron and company play. Luka Doncic, all these guys that play for the Dallas Mavericks. So we'll start off with the announcements. He's usually so much better at these than me, but we'll go ahead and just get him. First off, just want to say, hey, all you guys that came out to the Londoner yesterday, man, we had a really good turnout, man. It was really great. I went live on the Facebook Live. Any of you guys that are sitting at home and you're just like, hey, you want to come and chit-chat with me, I will go Facebook Live whenever we do these live events on the road. You can always come and just chit-chat with me, see what I'm doing, watch me act a fool, listen to Rick drop some expletives in the background. That's how passionate that man is about his rugby. But it was great turnout, and even having a bigger name come out, Steve Violetta, the president of the club, came out, bought a round for everybody. It was good to see him, and he delivered some amazing news. So after the success of our tailgate on opening weekend, we were really hoping that this was going to become a thing going forward, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is going forward. Lot L. Tailgating, the Bri. I will not be at the Bri this Friday, the tailgate, as I don't get off work until about 5:30. But Lot L, ladies and gentlemen, that's where it's going to go down. If you want to cook out, bring out stuff, even if you just want to bring a smile and good times, come on out, hang out, man. People will be cooking. We'll have the boom boxes going. The beer will be flowing, and it'll be absolutely awesome for any of you guys that want to come and hang out before the match. Yes, we have Seattle in town. The runners-up last year, and the Shield ended up losing to Rugby New York. And merchandise. We still have merchandise available, man. Go on the Facebook. There'll be a link right there. You can check it out. Absolutely cool merch. I've ordered some. My girl has ordered some. It's exciting to have like our own little merch available, so you can definitely support the Jackal Den as we begin to grow and grow and grow, and hopefully become like the legit fan club, the official fan club. Looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and talk about this game. 33-25, the final score. What a game that was. Some frustrations, obviously. We'll kind of go through some of the game notes, some notes that I made. I obviously watched it live. I come back home. If any of you guys are curious about how I do this, I go to the game. I come home and I watch it via the Rugby Network app, and then I make notes that way. That's just kind of how I do it. It's easier to kind of sit in the quietness of my studio here and just kind of go along with a pen and paper here and make notes. But like I said, 33-25 goes ahead, starts out. We'll go ahead and get it cracked off, man. A name that you will hear a lot when it comes to not only this game domestically, but even when the USA Eagles go overseas. And it was a guy I brought up in the pregame, somebody you have to watch out for. Man, that's Paul Lasike. What? He did it all in this game. And he punished us on quite a few occasions. But he started off the 6th minute. Line out deep in our end, he gets it, he runs it in, and it's 7-0 that quick, 6 minutes in. We have this habit of giving up the first score. I don't know what it is, man. We always seem to do that. But we answer back quickly, like 3 minutes later. Dewey Kutsia, we're deep in their end. Dewey Kutsia gets the ball, gets a nice little good run. Proud of my Safa Canadian brother there. And gets it to Burr, who offloads to Pablo Sais. I call him El Veterano, even though I don't know if he's too keen on that, but he's kind of he's the adult on the front row there with him and Murray. He's kind of the anchor to all that. Pablo Zeiss goes across. Elias does miss, and that becomes kind of the story for the day when it comes to our kicking. 22nd minute in, man, McEnany, he is the fullback for Utah, the Kiwi kid, NPC product, I believe. Auckland boy, Auckland gentleman. He goes across. He goes out wide, and that seems to be the chink in our armor, as you would say. We were definitely out wide defensively. We were just not really that strong. And Utah saw it, and they attacked outside a lot. So at the 22nd minute, it makes it 14-5 to the Warriors. 6 minutes later, Mika Kruse to Wilson, kind of the same thing. Just go out wide, we're thin out wide, and makes it a 21-5 score. Not really looking good, 21-5. We're kind of, hoping to get some momentum going into half. And in the 33rd minute, for the second time in as many weeks, Gomez Vara, after multiple phases, like we're on the line, and it's just phase after just trying to get it pushed across. Gomez Vara gets across at the 33rd minute. Adrian Carlsa calls for his kicking post, his kicking tee, and unfortunately misses 0 of 1 so far. So we go into halftime. A little bit of momentum kind of shift at the end. We're kind of getting some momentum going, knock-on issues, that kind of thing. But we go in at the halftime score 21-10. Great chance early in the second half. We're out wide, man. Naposki, he gets it. He has no one in front of him, and he knocks it on. I mean, you could tell he was pissed at that. And I was too. I was extremely pissed. If you watch the live stream, I'm like, GD Naposki. He had like no one to beat. It would have been the easiest try in the world. McKinney, Mika Kruse, the winger, Paul Lasicki, they just run roughshod on us the whole game. Anytime they had the ball, it was a minimum 10 meters. They were they just had their way with us defensively, with our defense. It was just, they just had a great day, the three of those guys. At the 53rd minute, Lasike shows his other skill sets. He kicks a grubber to Mano, and he crosses but McKinney does miss. And it's a 26-10, the score at that point. Couple of line-out issues after last week when he was absolutely money. Dewey Kutsia, the South African-born Canadian international, he has a couple of line-out issues in the game. He overthrows the ball a few times, and I kind of was going to take it to like, oh, well, it's cold outside, but then realizing that my boy Dewey has been living in Edmonton, Alberta, which is, if hell was frozen, it would be like maybe like the next house over. It would be like about that cold in Edmonton. It is absolutely bone-chillingly cold in the winter there. But he just has some issues on the lineouts, and there were quite a few knock-ons, and we'll kind of go into some of the errors at the end of the game. 57th minute in, Revel, who is one of our newer players, he comes off the bench. We get a try with him off the lineout. We just drive it in, he gets it in, and it's a 26-15 score. Carlson misses once again, 0 of 2 so far. 5 minutes later, what I say? Kruse, Lasicki, McEnany. These are the names you're going to hear. Kruse goes out wide, burns our wingman once again, and Kruse goes out wide, takes 3 Jackals to bring him down. It doesn't work. He eventually gets it out to Zion going, and they cross, and that would be their final scoring of the day. It was at that point, it was 33-15. Naposki, Eric, about 5 minutes later, off the blind side, off a line out, Eric Naposki finally touches down out wide. Carlson does miss, becomes 33-20, and all for naught. About 5 minutes later, Gola offloads to Naposki. He gets a second try of the game, and that would be the final score of 33-25. So let's go ahead and just first talk about the elephant in the room. 5 missed conversions times 2 is how many? 10 points. How many did we need to beat them? 8 points. God, that's the American. 8 points. We could have won this game had we hit our conversions, and we did not hit our conversions. Now, I had to go back and kind of look last season when Rugby New York came to Dallas, and I had to look at Carlson's kicking, and I've kind of have started to notice Carlson doesn't kick well in the cold. And I mean, I don't hold him for that. I mean, like, he is from the Western Cape where it's like summer 9 months of the year, basically. So I'm not like holding him back for that and whatever. I mean, that first miss by Elias, that was like literally about as close to straight in front as you could get. He shanked it and it was bad. It wasn't even close. So kicking, obviously an issue. Even if we had gotten, all but one, we would have tied. It would have been a 33-all score. But the kicking issues were pretty bad. Our defensive issues out. It was kind of funny talking to Rick, and if he was on here, he would agree with me in the conversation we had. Last year, it seemed that our forwards couldn't play defense, and our backs were great, but you can't really do anything with your backs when you don't have any defense. And now it just seems that like our forwards are like money at this point, and our backs are just kind of like flailing a bit. It just doesn't seem like we have that same punch in the back that we had last year. And we have the same guy. We have Speedy Naposki. He's still here. He bulked up. We still have Adrian Carlson. We still have, these guys that were here last year, but it doesn't seem like our offense is really like punching into gear. I mean, even in the broadcasters kind of brought it up and said, hey, like the Dallas Jackals play like the San Antonio Spurs. Like it's a lot of fundamentals, and we're playing good fundamental rugby, but you need that flash, you need that pizzazz, man. You've got to have those guys that can, because I mean, even me being a Springboks fan, yeah, we've got the Springboks, but we've got to have Bakazoli Bapipi out on wing. We've got to have Lucanio We've got to have those. You've got to have those flashy guys in the back that can make things happen. And it just feels like we don't really have that. We don't really have good defense out wide at all. Like our wings are kind of, I know we have a suspension for 3 weeks, but it's like, come on, guys, man. Put Jalen Tatum out on wing, man. Like, he played it last year a bit for us before he busted his knee. He's 6'5", man. I mean, he's got speed. I mean, I know he's listed as being a flanker. Put him out on the wing. He can play wing, dude. Like, at his size, he's going to play defense much better, and it's all for naught. And then, once again, in the same amount of time as many weeks as we have here, I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, horrible officiating. Horrible. And it's funny is because I actually met this referee on the LA trip last year. Super nice dude. He's from Long Beach. Just lots of missed penalties, just lots of miss this and that. And I mean, it happens. Like I said, he's a human being like anyone else, but it was just too many missed opportunities. That's why we didn't get the W. We missed our opportunity. We didn't maximize on our opportunities. But with that being said, I do have to bring up once again the bench. Going into game one, the pregame was like, man, our bench is rubbish, dude. We're going to get destroyed by Houston's bench. And, I mean, to be completely honest with you, everything seems to click in a different gear. Like, we're a 5-speed, we bring the bench on, and we become a 6-speed automatically. And it's like, you see it, and it's guys like Danny Christensen, whose parents were at the game. Big Mike, hopefully his injury isn't anything too serious. I haven't heard anything yet. Revel, Kyle Steeves, the Canadian international, like our replacement player, Campbell Johnstone. I mean, it's like our replacement players are coming out and they're adding that extra punch, which is what you need in those replacement players. You always need that extra just punch, and they're providing it. Danny Christensen is everything you could ask for and more in a relief scrum half. I think he's absolutely amazing. If they start him, cool. If this is what he becomes, is just our guy off the bench when it comes to scrum half, by all means, Danny, you will have a very long career. You continue to impress me by the way you run the engine room. You're in the back of rucks, you're directing traffic, you're getting kicks off when you need to get kicks off, and you're just out there playing with fury and fire, and it's what I love to see, especially from, new players, only new players, but a scrum half. You need a scrum half. We had that in Carlo Denason. We had that fire at scrum half, because you need it, man. You need that guy that is a general when he's running. I mean, it's like, we put so much emphasis on the fly half and the wings, but man, the scrum half, man, you're really running the engine room, dude. You're kind of steering the boat from the back, and it's like you got to have that guy that has that fire. And when you see him, he's a smaller guy, but he's just dynamite, man. He's just, you see him move with the ball, clearing out, getting in the back of the rucks, getting possession of the ball, holding, checking to see what options are. If he's going to kick, making sure dudes are in place to kick. And I also have to bring up Sam Gola and Burr, the locks, once again. Absolutely impressive game from both of these guys. Take in mind, Gola was supposed to be listed as a flanker. He has come into that lock role and just dominated, man. Like, plays like a veteran. Doesn't even play like a rookie. Plays like a veteran. So it's no longer a question of are we going to win a game. It's going to be when are we going to win a game. And after what we've seen through 2 weeks, I mean, you kind of put... We had this happen last year too. We had 2 games where we got better back to back, but I think we're going to continue to see that. We welcome Seattle, who's a solid side coming into town. Lots of caps. We've got, a couple of Super Rugby caps. Lots of everything coming in there. Our at one time coach is their head coach, and looking into this next round, I don't think we're gonna get spanked like a small child. I just don't see it. The techniques are there. We're just having to tweak things just a little bit, get people in the right spots. And I no doubt that it's going to be, when this thing clicks, it's going to be awesome to see it click, and we're gonna put some teams in a lot of hurt. So, with that being said, once again, thank you guys for being subscribers to the channel here. And like I said, I always say at all the end of the videos, this is by the fans and for the fans. So without you guys, this wouldn't be happening. And hopefully we'll have Rick back on for a post game next week. But until then, everybody stay safe. Cheers, guys.
Looking for space, gets the ball away. Napowski with a dance.
Oh, what a move! And he'll get around for another try. Napowski with the double, and what a move, and Dallas is right there. If they make this conversion, it's a one-score game.
This effectively against the Utah Warriors and showing that they can do it right there. And it is indeed Napowski with a bit of magic in those boots.
That was the move of the year in Major League Rugby. The in and the out and the dot down, and Dallas is in it. Again, they were
8 meters on the trot from Hodgson, but now it's the Jackals storming through. It's the second rower, Coetzee. Still on the run.
Burr. Shoestring tackle, numbers to the side, and Sace dots it down. Just like that, Dallas responds with Vadi Sace, the tight head prop.
They get to the ground and they present good platforms that you get good quick recycle after the tackle, and then it's just a matter of academics and their men lining up against your men, and the overload came as the defense collapsed in and an easy dot down.
They had a great platform to begin with inside the 22, and we're gaining meters, and Sace dots it down.
All clear.
One of the many Argentine
8 meters on the trot from Hodgson, but now it's the Jackals storming through. It's the second rower, Coetzee. Still on the run.
Burr. Shoestring tackle, numbers to the side, and Sace dots it down. Just like that, Dallas responds with Vadi Sace, the tight head prop.
They get to the ground and they present good platforms that you get good quick recycle after the tackle, and then it's just a matter of academics and their men lining up against your men, and the overload came as the defense collapsed in and an easy dot down.
They had a great platform to begin with inside the 22, and we're gaining meters, and Sace dots it down.
All clear.
One of the many Argentine